The automatic doors of the Super Save grocery store whooshed open as I trudged inside, my work boots still covered in dried concrete from the construction site. It was 8:30 on a Thursday night, and all I wanted was a cold bottle of water along with maybe a protein bar before heading home to Riverside. Overhead, the fluorescent lights buzzed, casting a harsh glow that made everyone appear faintly green. I grabbed my items and made my way to the express checkout, where a bold red sign clearly stated 10 items or less. That was when I noticed her, Karen Fitzgerald. She stood at the express register with a cart so full it looked as though she were preparing for the apocalypse. The poor cashier, a teenager named Tyler according to his tag, was sweating bullets as he tried to politely explain the rules. Karen's voice boomed across the store, insisting her time was far more valuable than anyone else's, and that such rules were only suggestions for people like her. I took my spot behind her, clutching just 2 items, and watched the drama unfold. Her appearance was calculated, perfectly styled blonde hair that must have cost a mortgage payment to maintain, designer sunglasses perched on her head despite the nighttime hour, and a pristine tennis outfit that had never touched a court. Her cart was packed with at least 60 items, cases of sparkling water, organic vegetables wrapped in plastic, and frozen dinners enough to feed a small army. Tyler nervously cleared his throat and tried again to point out it was the express lane, but Karen cut him off mid-sentence. Declaring herself a Platinum Rewards member who had been shopping there for 15 years, she claimed it gave her the right to use whatever checkout lane she pleased. The kid looked like he wanted to sink into the floor. As she ranted that the store should be grateful for her business, I calmly suggested she try one of the regular lanes, wide open just 3 registers away, where larger purchases could be handled faster. She spun around so quickly I thought she might give herself whiplash. Narrowing her eyes at my dusty work clothes and calloused hands, she sneered that people in my tax bracket couldn't possibly understand the pressures of someone with her social standing. Apparently, she had a charity gala planning meeting at 9 and simply could not waste time waiting with commoners. I bit back a laugh at the irony, boasting about charity while showing none. Behind me, the line was growing tense. An elderly man with bread and milk sighed heavily, while a young mother juggling a crying baby and formula looked ready to snap. Karen, however, remained oblivious, or worse, indifferent. She began unloading her cart deliberately slowly, inspecting each item before placing it on the belt. When Tyler timidly suggested again that she move, Karen demanded to see the manager immediately, her voice climbing to glass-shattering levels as she accused him of discrimination and threatened to have him fired. That's when it escalated. Spotting my water bottle and protein bar at the edge of the belt, Karen swept her arm dramatically, knocking them to the floor. The bottle rolled under the candy display. She sneered that if I was in such a hurry, I should have arrived earlier, and besides, construction workers like me were paid by the hour, so why should it matter? The entire front of the store went silent. Even the music seemed to pause. Tyler's mouth hung open. The old man muttered about shame being gone, while the young mother pulled out her phone to record. I bent down to retrieve my items, forcing myself to stay calm despite the anger burning in my chest. Before I could respond, Tyler grabbed the store intercom with shaking hands, his voice cracking as he called for a manager. Karen actually seemed pleased, certain the manager would side with her. She loudly claimed to know the district manager personally and promised a formal complaint. The manager who arrived was Janet, a woman in her 40s with a no-nonsense air earned from years of dealing with people like Karen. She quickly sized up the overflowing cart, the impatient line, and the defensive posture of the customer. With calm authority, she asked Karen to move to a regular checkout. Karen shot back by demanding Janet's employee ID and threatening a harassment lawsuit. She accused the staff of conspiring to humiliate her because she drove a luxury car and they were jealous of her success. Janet's face remained composed, though I noticed her jaw tighten. What happened next was better than anything I could have scripted. Janet pulled out her phone and called security. Within minutes, 2 guards appeared and began wheeling Karen's cart away from the register. Karen shrieked like a banshee, crying theft and assault, but the guards ignored her, pushing the cart toward customer service. Meanwhile, Janet firmly informed her that she was no longer welcome to make purchases that evening. Other customers in line began swapping their own Karen stories. Evidently, she had earned a reputation throughout Riverside for pulling stunts like this. The man behind me recalled how she once insisted that a grocery clerk haul her bags through a thunderstorm while she strolled beneath an umbrella. A young mother chimed in, saying Karen had recently reported her to management because her baby had cried in the store. Karen's face flushed an impressive shade of purple when she realized the entire crowd had turned against her. She whipped out her phone, vowing to call corporate, the local news, and her lawyer all at once. Janet, unruffled, reminded her that security, cameras had captured her deliberately knocking my items to the ground, a move that could qualify as assault, and asked whether Karen truly wished to involve the police. That single mention of criminal charges pierced her bubble of entitlement. Her boldness dissolved, replaced with frantic excuses. It had been an accident. She was under stress. Surely we could settle things like reasonable adults. Janet refused to yield and announced that Karen was barred from the store for 30 days. As the guards escorted her out, Karen tried to salvage her pride by declaring she would take her considerable business elsewhere. Instead of sympathy, she was met with thunderous applause from shoppers and staff alike. The clapping seemed to drain the last of her bravado. Through the glass doors, we watched her in the parking lot, gesturing furiously into her phone, no doubt spinning a tale about why she had failed to buy groceries. Tyler rang up my 2 items with visible relief and thanked me for staying calm. I told him he had handled the chaos like a professional and left Janet a compliment about his composure under pressure. Walking back to my truck, I spotted Karen again, still parked in her luxury SUV, apparently trying to figure out where else she could shop. The following week, when I returned to the store, Tyler filled me in on what had happened next. Karen had sent her husband to shop in her place, hoping to dodge the ban, but he seemed grateful when Janet explained the situation. He even apologized for his wife's behavior and admitted he had been urging her to consider anger management for years. The security footage had been archived, and Janet assured me the store would back me if I wanted to press charges. I declined, deciding that the ban and her public embarrassment were punishment enough. But karma had one more lesson for Karen Fitzgerald. Among the bystanders recording her outburst was a member of the charity board organizing the upcoming gala Karen had been planning. That video soon reached the directors, who were horrified that someone representing their group would act so disgracefully in public. They convened an emergency meeting and voted to remove her as chair of the gala committee. Effective immediately, the dismissal letter, which I only saw because a board member posted it on the community Facebook page, explained that her conduct clashed with the charity's values of compassion and respect, regardless of a person's job or status. Not only was she stripped of her leadership role, but she was also banned from attending the gala she had spent 6 months preparing. The board added that her behavior risked alienating donors who valued kindness and humility above all else.